Hello everyone, I'm Matt Little and we are going to talk about short movements and footwork with a pistol. So one of the areas where I think a lot of tactical and defensive shooters fall short is in their footwork. The laws of athletic performance don't change simply because we put a gun in our hand. So we have to analyze things from a biomechanical standpoint and move efficiently like an athlete moves. So we're going to work on specifically short movements right now. The way I define short movements is that the distance I'm moving is not long enough for me to turn my hips in the direction of travel and sprint. It's more efficient for me to keep the gun mounted, keep my hips towards the threat, and move laterally, okay? Usually we're talking anything less than, say, 5 steps or so. 3 for sure. You can utilize some of these footwork patterns, right? Now, also understand that we are not applying a tactical context to this right now. We're simply working on the techniques. So I'm not so worried about any tactical considerations as much as I'm worried about the way I'm moving and learning to move more efficiently. So I'm going to show you guys 3 different footwork patterns for these shorter movements, all right? The first one is very simple. It's a slide step. So if I engage this target on the left side, all I'm going to do is take my finger off the trigger, keep the gun mounted, push off with my hips, and slide my feet. Notice I'm keeping my hips the same height. I'm not raising up and dropping back down. That is not efficient. You bleed off momentum that way. And you also make the shooting piece more difficult because it's not just raw speed of the movement, it's the ability to come in smoothly so that my sights are correct for my shot, rather than having to wait for my sights to settle, okay? So that's the slide step. The second footwork piece we're gonna do is a crossover step. So present, make my shot, finger comes off the trigger, gun stays mounted, right? I'm gonna cross my feet either in front, make the shot, finger off the trigger, or behind, make the shot. All right. This one is slower than the third one I'm going to show you, but it can cover more distance than the first one. So there are times when it'll be applicable. I usually use this one if I need to do a reload during the movement because it's more stable and it takes a little more time to do the reload than I have on the third movement technique we're about to show. So that one's kind of an intermediary technique. It's a crossover step. Now I know a lot of people talk about not crossing your feet in footwork. And in the context they mean it, they are correct. But in this particular context, there's nothing wrong with crossing your feet. Watch athletes from a variety of different disciplines, and they all move like this, right? There's nothing wrong with it if you practice it and do it correctly. Now the third version is a burst movement, right? Or a shuffle step. So I'm going to make my shot, finger comes off the trigger, I'm going to explode off my hip. This foot is going to slide to this foot and I'm going to explode off of it and step over here. At the same time, I'm going to use my upper body to add momentum. So I'm going to explode with my elbow and drive in the direction of travel. That elbow movement is going to feel awkward at first, but it adds a lot of acceleration and velocity to that footwork pattern, so it helps you get to the other side faster. It also helps you keep the gun up so that you're mounted and can make the shot quicker. So once again, quick review. Slide step, crossover step, burst, or shuffle step. All right, now I'm going to go hot. We're going to do it live. All right, the first movement pattern I'm going to do is the slide step. All right, now we're going to do the shuffle step. All right, now the burst. All right, so those are the 3 footwork techniques I like to use for shorter movements. Which one I choose is based on a lot of context, a lot of other factors, but all 3 are good techniques to have in your toolbox.